Guys, it is finally here. Cyberpunk 2077's return to consoles is practically a checklist of what everyone mocked. This comes from Kotaku. First off, before we get into this article, should I ask you guys if you're hyped after we read some of these changes? Or should we get a hype gauge right now?
I'm
Hype
surprised.
gauge right now.
That's what I'll
Hype
say.
gauge right now
Yeah,
is I don't have my game with me.
that's fair. Okay. Ryder?
Hype gauge right now is a little more over the 5 because I'm surprised by what they've showcased here. I'll get into it once we break down what this is.
CD Projekt Red's Keanu Reeves fanfic Cyberpunk 2077 might finally be complete. A massive update to the game rolls out today alongside its release on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Summarized to make things concise, that was a note to myself. PS5 and Series X play at 4K 60 frames per second. Series S is 1440 30 frames per second, so Series S not running it as well at all. Ray tracing will turn PS5 and Series X into 4K 30 frames per second if you choose to turn it on. There's a free 5-hour trial of the game available on next-gen consoles, and the saves do transfer to the full game if you choose to purchase it afterwards.
There you go.
It's also on sale for $19.99 right now, still.
25.
JK,
Ooh.
which is still
$24.99.
great.
Nice.
The next-gen update comes along Cyberpunk 2077's patch 1.5, which clocks in at 50 gigabytes, and among other things, features a reworked perk system, God bless. Some skills are getting enhanced, while others are getting removed from the skill tree entirely, such as there was a perk that says you can't be detected underwater. There's like 0 underwater segments in this game at all.
Going to puddles.
I don't get it.
You just dive into puddles on the street.
But there's the knife throwing's good now. Can't wait to check that out because that
Great.
was really mediocre beforehand. And maybe a boomerang apparently. So if you're dusting off an
Whoa.
old save file, you'll have all of your perk points unassigned, so you can just re-perk yourself right away.
I love that.
It introduced a rebalanced combat system where enemies will seek cover, finally react more intelligently, and are overall more clever.
The AI was dumb as fuck.
It was stupid. It was the T-pose, like
Yeah.
random things.
I'll get you. Wait there.
Exactly. Driving has also been improved. On stream, CDPR showed off the main character V doing smooth donuts in a sports car at an intersection. You could
Thank
do that.
God. The driving was ass though.
It was It was just
Driving
There's a lot of
was
stuff to nitpick
so
from the
bad.
base
Yeah.
game.
the
For a
world.
game that had that much driving in it, it needed to be significantly improved.
I just drove a lot of motorcycles, which felt a lot better to me than the
Fair
cars.
enough.
And Keanu Reeves 9/11, it was sick. Okay, the world itself has also been significantly improved with changes implemented to make it feel more real. Crowds will realistically react to your actions and won't despawn any longer when you spin around. And the city itself looks lively in a way that it simply did not in the game's launch state, which is very cool. I saw a video of a guy walking across a crosswalk, very busy, and he shoots at the ground to make cars start driving out of the way and people running away. And like the car hit another car and then ran into a bunch of people on the road and they died, like straight up dead on the ground, and the car drives away. I was like, this would have never happened when I played the game at all.
So they would have despawned before.
I would have looked around and there would have been no car and nobody in the background, bro. A couple more things. The changes all come amid a litany of quantity of life changes, including a big overhaul of the map, which is so specific now as to show you how many gigs you've completed, thank God, and for specific fixers, aka the 2077 quest givers. In-game vendors will now hawk their wares at reasonable prices. You can change your character's appearance in-game at the mirror in your apartment, a feature so nice that they showed it twice. And there's new apartments you can choose from instead of just the one.
Apartments
With different themes. You can theme your apartment different things. Very cool. In other words, it seems like Cyberpunk 2077 might be the game everyone wanted it to be. I would disagree because there's fundamentally things about the game that people aren't going to like, but it's big changes that are very positive. And then the last point is just that why the hell would they launch this days before three of this quarter's biggest launches? I don't get it. But well, okay, we'll get into that in a sec. We'll speculate. But tell me what you guys are thinking, because if you're a first time listener here, I have beat Cyberpunk. I have 50 plus hours in Cyberpunk. I really, really, really love the game. I'm not going to say it's amazing because there's some big problems with it, but I really love it.
Okay, I'll say a couple of things. One, I think for me, the last time I played this game was on base the original update, like the very first time the game came out. And so I'm waiting out until like an actual 1.0 patch to where the game is like, hey, we're finally done with it. Every bug is gone. We'll hop in and hopefully have a new experience with this game. And that's, I hope, what a lot of people have is that they come back into it. It's like, this is a new experience. and it feels solid like a Cyberpunk game that I wanted, because
Yeah.
but then again, I didn't really have that many crashes or glitches the first time I played it.
Which
Also,
is crazy because you played on Xbox what?
Xbox One X. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad, but I understand people's gripes with like the driving. That happened to me a lot. But also, I'll never forget when it came to like the crowd and kind of the NPCs, and I think that was kind of the biggest things when it came to trailers, and what they showcased to now is like that's kind of the biggest thing that needs to be improved. So I hope that they, again, I haven't hopped into it yet, but based on the footage, it looks like they're getting there.
Yeah.
And I think that there's some speculation on why they kind of released it. But James,
Right.
let's hear your thoughts too.
My hype went from like a 4 to like a 7.
Okay. Wow.
I just like
Okay.
reading this. I'm like because I essentially
Mhm.
just thought it was a graphical and like some minor improvements that like made it just kind of like up to snubbed for a next gen title. But like it really seems like they put in a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
I mean, which they kind of had to. If it was
Mhm.
anything short of this, it would have been axed. Like
Yeah.
it would have been really bad.
Yeah.
There's already like if you go on Video Game Chronicles like website, they have a poll about how do you feel about it, and like a big like 35% of people said like it should have just released like this,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
even then is a strong reaction. And one of the other options is like, yes, I'll play it now. So
Mhm.
like you still have a big portion of people through that poll, which again is small number of people because it's just
Mhm.
one
Yeah.
outlet. But it like 35% of people are like still upset like the game should have released this way. But that being said, I'm still really excited. So I've only put in about maybe 6 hours into the original game.
Mhm.
And I was like, I can't, I don't want to put in hours in this game that's like, I know it's going to come out
If there's no
again and
return.
going to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if there's no return and I'm going to like
Better.
I want to play it in the way it was kind of meant to be played.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to jump back into this once I'm like in the summer drought
Yep.
of not having any games to play. So
That's
that's
the
what it's
plan.
going to be for me. I'm coming to that, and then that's also where Final Fantasy VII Remake is also going to come on
Yeah.
into my play log after Elden Ring. After I get to maybe Horizon, I'll be waiting for a sale on that, of course. But after that kind of after this spring
It's crazy.
session,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into this, and I actually can't wait
Yes.
for it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Good. Boys, I can't wait. I'm gonna platinum this game. I'm gonna platinum it, and this is the start. I have 4 more endings to play, or 3 more endings of the game. Like,
You say that, but then you're gonna get hooked into Elden Ring, and then you're gonna say, "Wow, this game's really great. How am I gonna play more games like it?" And then you're gonna go back and you're gonna play
It could
Dark
be.
Souls 3, and then you're gonna play Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice,
It
and then
could
you're gonna
be.
play Bloodborne.
Variety's the spice of life, though, baby. I don't know if I can get locked down to the FromSoft. I might get locked into this FromSoft, though. You
Right.
never know.
It's a drug.
I also
a
just want to say that this is a big note for me when I was playing is the economy has been rebalanced. I know I said that before, but like seriously, there's an issue there with like buying even the antidotes or the heals or whatever they call them. Like I had a total like drought of them halfway through the game, and I had to buy some because did not have enough health for boss fights and stuff. And it was so expensive, and cars were ridiculously expensive. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to buy these cars if like I'm not getting paid enough for gigs. So now there's like a total rebalance of like, if this gig is hard, you're gonna be rewarded eddies, which is the money for that gig,
Cool.
and then the stuff that is like a smaller gig you won't get as much money for it. But
Sure.
that is like such a huge change for me that like motivates me to like, oh, I can do this harder mission and get a lot more credits for it. Like that is cool to me. So there's a lot of changes that I'm so excited to jump back in, and I'm gonna be playing at 4K 60, baby. Like that's exciting. I don't have to play this game in 30 frames per second, which is
4K 30, but I think it's downscaled to.
no, it's 4K
Oh, it's
60
4K 60.
unless
That's
you
insane.
don't turn, but that's without ray tracing on.
Yeah.
Right, but have you seen the clip of ray tracing
It's
and the difference
gorgeous.
it makes?
Looks
It's
amazing.
gorgeous.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, just the
That's how the
light
trailers
reflection
were back then.
alone.
Yeah.
That's how it should have
Wow.
been.
So eventually. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch the whole podcast, become a member here on YouTube or listen to the whole thing for free on audio platforms. And that was Cyberpunk.